We're going to have to see what happens. So, hey guys, Dusty here from the FBI group. And I just wanted to take a minute to say that we are coming back with Ask a Pro. This is something that we did during the COVID time frame, but I think that today we really kind of need to hear from the professionals in the real estate industry. So I have our very first guest, and I started out with a team member because we've got a really exciting product. So I'm going to bring Jared into the room just so we can get both of us on screen. This is a test run, so fingers crossed, right, that this is going to work well. All right, Jared, let's try it. Can we hear you?
I don't know. I hope so.
Oh my goodness, we can. All right. Very, very good. Just don't turn your phone sideways.
No, I'm not touching it.
All right. So we're here today. We're just going to take a few minutes of your time. We are here today to discuss lead paint, right? For years, we've been asked, do you do lead paint testing? Well, guess what? We do now. We were approached by a property management team, and they said, we don't have anybody locally in the area who's really doing this test for us. So Jared raised his hands, and Jared went out and got himself certified. So this is Jared Hires with the FBI group. He is our team lead. He is our inspector trainer and has been with the company for 7 years?
7 years.
7 years. Okay. So we're super excited to have him here with us today. And Jared, would you like to say anything?
Yeah, I mean, we're just really excited to be able to offer basically everything that people are looking for. So being able to add the lead-based paint testing is just one more notch in the belt, and just one more resource for the real estate agents, for property management, and just homeowners to have someone they can trust to go to for quick, good, accurate results.
Right. And understanding lead-based paint testing. Oh my goodness,
Right.
that's a long one. But just really understanding it and where I might find it, right? And then what does that mean to the property management world, or you as a homeowner? What are you doing that you could be contaminating that maybe you don't know? So we thought it would be really interesting to open up Ask a Pro again with something that's familiar to us and that we can really talk about. So lead paint. So what ages of the homes are we concerned about, Jared?
Yeah, so any house that was built before 1978 is at risk for having lead-based paint inside of the home. This could be exterior paint, interior paint, on literally anything that you would paint, including children's toys. So even like the old school wood toys that some people might remember having, those wood blocks and maybe the painted ducks and stuff like that. If it was done back then, it likely has lead-based paint in it. So anything 1978 or earlier.
Wow. You don't really think about your kids' toys, right?
Yeah.
We all love those old wooden toys because they were made so well, but we don't really think about our children's toys. Okay. So is popcorn ceiling considered one of the major concerns?
Not for lead-based paint necessarily, just any surface that can be painted. So your walls, a lot of people have concerns about around their windows, especially on window trim, mainly because they're concerned for their children. Children have a lower immune system. They can't respond as well to infections and stuff. So they fight things off really well, but they also, especially young kids, and I know a lot about this, they like to take whatever's in their hands or at eye level and they put it right into their mouths. So any windowsill, anything that they can chew on, stuff like that, those are the areas where people really focus on for the kids. But your walls, your baseboards, ceilings, any of those things could contain lead-based paint based on the age of the house.
Okay. And so you just kind of covered that. So the concerns are, how does it get into the body? You can swallow it, inhale it, or absorb it through your skin, right? If you're actually doing things in the air.
Right. Yeah. So if you're doing like a renovation or something like that, if you have a wall that you're taking out in these older homes and you don't know that there's lead-based paint, you create lead dust that is then being inhaled by you, by the other people around you, or even just lead dust that gets on the ground from the demolition. If you don't clean it properly, again, your babies and kids are going to be tramping around through it. And then again, hand to mouth, hand to mouth. That's what they do.
Gotcha. Yeah, you have enough kids that you know what that hand
Yeah,
to mouth
yeah,
looks like,
for sure.
right? All right. And then, so what are some of the health concerns that come along with actually ingesting or being surrounded and inhaling the lead paint fumes?
Yeah. So again, we'll start with the kids. Their immune system can become compromised. It can actually slow down their development as well, depending on how young the kid is. It can also deal with mental development as well. So it has a wide ranging effect. And then for older people and adults, it can affect reproductivity. It can affect lung tissue. There's a lot of things that lead itself and lead dust from lead-based paint can really take a hold of, and really things that people might not think about, and are unfortunately difficult to diagnose easily by doctors. You can run blood tests and stuff and say, well, your lead level in your blood is pretty high. Why is that? And which part of it is it affecting? All those things kind of come into play whenever it comes to the sicknesses.
Yep. Very good. And so, so let's talk about it a little bit when it comes to that remodel factor. So, I got water damage from my roof leak, and now the drywall needs to be removed
Yep.
in the ceiling. So, what does that look like, and why, as a homeowner, should I hire somebody like the FBI group to come out and do that test just to
Right.
see what's going on?
Yeah, that's a great idea because I mean, here in Florida we have a lot of rain. It's raining right now, finally, after some time there. But we have hurricanes, lots of water intrusion happens, and yeah, when you go to actually rip out that drywall, if it does have lead-based paint, again, you're creating lead dust or lead laden dust that can then get into your lungs and then affect your blood and the tissue inside of it. So you want to make sure that you don't have lead-based paint there in the areas that you're working, so that you can do it safely and prevent any health effects. Then if there is lead-based paint, you would need an abatement team to come in and carefully, accurately, safely take care of those areas, keep it encapsulated so that the lead dust doesn't get out, and then dispose of the material properly as well.
Okay. So that's for the homeowner. So we have many teams that work with us through the property management component of real estate.
Right.
So what happens with a property management team if they're not using someone who is lead certified to actually do testings for repairs that they may need to do during someone's living there or when someone moves out, either or. So what does that look like for them?
Right. So even outside of the health effects, the liability factor that property managements are then going to be under is if one of the tenants gets sick and you had just so happened to have fixed a bathroom wall after a leak or something like that, and they're having issues that could be brought back to lead-based paint exposure, you're opening yourself up to liability because you didn't have that wall tested or those surfaces tested, and then now your tenant is sick and likely because of the improper treatment or encapsulation of that lead-based paint material, that is then leading to their sicknesses. So it's really a liability issue. You want to make sure that you have a licensed professional who's doing the testing for you and testing that is reliable, because there's a lot of, you can go on Amazon and buy anything, it'll be there in 2 days. You can buy lead-based paint tests that are chemical swabs. Those are not recognized by the EPA or by HUD as accurate and dependable tests because they're only swabbing the very surface. That's the problem with a lot of these older homes. I mean, in my home, I've painted and painted and painted and painted. So I've got 4 layers just from me, uh, not to mention all the other people that were there before. So that swab's only going to get so many layers. You have to have something that's going to be able to penetrate all those layers down to the substrate because when you go to change out that drywall, it doesn't matter how many layers of paint, you're taking all of it.
Right. And so that's a good point. And what type of instrument are you using today that ensures that we're doing a proper test to provide the most amount of information to ensure that that renovation that you're doing, rather on the property management side or the homeowner side, is actually giving you a full read on the situation?
Yeah, so true lead inspectors, licensed professionals are going to use something called an XRF lead analyzer. That's just a really fancy way of saying it's a gun that you stick up to a surface and it reads if there's lead-based paint there. There's X-rays that are used inside of it that read the multiple layers. It penetrates really deeply to make sure that it gets all the layers that are there. And then it gives a digital display and it prints out a wonderful report as well later on and clearly states this is the lead level that you have inside of this wall in these areas or on this substrate, on the baseboard, the windowsill, whatever it is. So it's non-invasive, non-destructive. I don't have to take paint chips and send them off to a lab and wait, 4 days for the results to come back. And then you get your report. You get the report same day with us because that lead analyzer allows us to quickly and accurately find out what the answer is. Is there lead or is there not?
Right. The old way, you used to have to score the drywall and go layers deep in order to be able to take those paint chips and then send them away. So we've damaged the wall, right? And if there isn't any problem, regardless, you're going to have some repairs that you need to do. But this is a non-invasive aspect, right?
Correct. Yeah. And you still might have to do lead chip samples eventually for inconclusive results. That's very rare with the high level of technology that we have today. We don't always have to do that, thankfully. There's a very rare occasion.
Okay. And property managers, if you're listening, you should hear this, right? This is a huge fine to you. If you do not have a certification when your books get audited and for each incident where you've repaired a drywall situation and you don't have this lead-based paint certificate, I think the fines are up into the $30,000 per incident. So I don't know if you can afford that or not, but I would certainly think that the answer is probably no, I don't want to do that. So make sure that you're protecting yourself, make sure you're protecting your home, right? Your family, your loved ones, that you are just being cautious, right? I mean, 1970, what was the year again? 1976?
1978 or older.
Or older, right? So let's say you heard it here first. Is there anything else that you want to say, Jared?
Yeah, no, I mean, like you said, it's good for the family. It's good to make sure that you're keeping everybody safe. And then again, for the property management, for your liability, just to make sure you have all your I's dotted, your T's crossed, all that stuff. Make sure you're hiring a professional to do these inspections for you. And then the people that are actually doing the renovations need to have their RRP certification that can work in homes that are older than 1978 as well. So just make sure you have the right people in the right position and you've got everything covered, and then you'll be fine.
All right. Well, thank you, Jared, for joining us. I know you have to go. He's on the road, but he pulled over so that we could take care of this for you. So have a good day, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks. So guys, you heard it here first, right? Lead-based paint testing is very important when you're doing renovations in a home that was built prior to 1978. There are so many different things that are built into the testing aspect that you're going to want to know, because it could harm your family, and I know that you don't want to do that. So say you heard it here first on Ask a Pro with Dusty at the FBI group. And listen, we're going to be back in 2 weeks. And I've got a guy coming up. His name's Micah Thompson. And he's going to be talking about what you need to know about docks and seawalls, right? He goes under the water. And there are things that you should be asking questions about before you ever buy. So join us back in 2 weeks on Monday at noon. And we will see you then. Thank you so much for joining us, and I look forward to talking to you again. Thanks.